Tu Diep's new home is exposed and at risk. What will James do when the mastermind appears? The rain poured down like a warning from the heavens. In the dim light of the countryside dusk, Tu Diep clutched the old phone James had given her and stared out the window of her newly built home. For the first time in weeks, she felt safe, perhaps too safe. But peace, it seemed, was never meant to last. Everything changed when Tu Diep received a call from an unknown number. "Nice little house." The voice sneered. "Too bad someone knows exactly where it is." The blood drained from her face. Her hands trembled. Her sanctuary, the home James had helped rebuild with so much care and sacrifice, had been exposed. Meanwhile, CEO James was finalizing a critical contract that could help stabilize his shattered company. The news hit him like a bullet to the chest. Who had found her? How did they know? And worse, what did they plan to do? James's heart burned with a furious mixture of fear and guilt. He had sent her away to protect her, yet now she was in more danger than ever. Memories of past betrayals flooded his mind. John, his former partner turned enemy, had already shown he was capable of anything. But James had also learned that behind John, there was someone else, someone darker, someone who had waited in the shadows, pulling the strings. "I won't let them touch her," James whispered under his breath. His jaw clenched. This was no longer just a business war. It was personal, determined, and relentless. James called Toon, his most loyal staff member. "Prepare the car. We're going back. Tonight." There was no time to wait for the authorities. No time to wonder. Every second Tu Diep stayed at that house was a second closer to disaster. But what James didn't expect was the confrontation waiting for him. As he raced through the rain-soaked countryside, headlights cutting through the dark, a sleek black SUV appeared in the distance, blocking the path. A man stepped out, calm, smiling. Cold, the mastermind had arrived, and he was ready to make his move. Now, James must decide. Will he fight with everything he has to protect the woman he loves, even if it means risking everything? Or will the hidden enemy finally win? Tu Diep's safety is no longer guaranteed. The storm is here, and the game is no longer just about love or business. It's about survival. The SUV's door slammed shut, echoing through the night like a gunshot. James stepped out of his car, eyes narrowed, heart pounding like a war drum. The rain slicked his dark coat, but he didn't flinch. The man standing before him was tall, impeccably dressed in black, and wore a smug smile that chilled James to the bone. "So you finally came," the man said, his voice low and controlled. "You've been following her." James growled. "Why, she's just collateral," the man replied, tilting his head. "This was never about her. This is about your family, your empire, and how easily it can fall." James clenched his fists. "You think I'll let you hurt her?" "I don't need to hurt her," the man said, stepping forward slowly. "I just needed you to come running. You did exactly what I expected. You're predictable, James." Suddenly, James understood. The threat wasn't just a Tu Diep, it was a trap, and he had walked right into it. But he wasn't the same man he used to be. "I recorded your voice," James said coldly, lifting his phone. "And I'm live streaming this conversation to my legal team. You're done." For the first time, the man's smile faltered, but only for a second. "Cute trick, but you think I came here alone?" He snapped his fingers. From the shadows behind the trees, two more figures emerged, armed, faces covered. James took a breath. He wasn't afraid to die, but he would never let them touch Tu Diep. Just then, headlights appeared from behind Toon's car. James had called for backup after all. The armed men hesitated. One of them raised his voice. "We don't have time for this. The girl's already on the move." James's heart leapt. "Where is she?" "She left the house 15 minutes ago," Toon called out from the car. "She must have known something was wrong." Relief flooded James's chest, followed by a burst of urgency. "Then she's still in danger." The man in black shrugged, backing toward his SUV. "She's smarter than you think, but she won't get far if I don't want her to." "You won't touch her," James barked. "If you even try." "Oh, but I already have." The man climbed into his car. "See you soon, James." The SUV roared to life and disappeared down the winding road. James turned to Toon. "Find her now." As Toon sped off into the darkness, James stood in the rain, soaked, shaking with fury but his mind sharper than ever. Whoever this man was, he wasn't just a threat to Tu Diep. He was the key to everything: the collapse of the company, the betrayal from within, and the haunting secrets of James's family. The question wasn't if James would fight back. It was how far he would go to protect the woman he loved and uncover the truth buried beneath years of lies. Tu Diep's breath came in sharp bursts as she clutched her coat tighter around her body. The rain fell harder now, soaking through her clothes, blurring the lights of passing cars. Her heart pounded, not from the cold, but from fear, a fear she hadn't felt since the day her father disappeared. She didn't know who the man was, but she felt his eyes earlier, watching, calculating. She had seen the black SUV parked too long near her new home, too still, too silent. Something in her gut told her to leave, and she listened. Now, she was running through the storm barefoot, phone clenched in her hand, heart breaking with every step. "James," she whispered into the night, praying he would find her. She didn't even send a message, just turned off her GPS and vanished. She couldn't risk leading danger to him. Or worse, her baby, yes, the baby, the life growing inside her that James didn't even know about yet. How could she tell him when death now felt so close? Suddenly, she heard a car slowing behind her. She turned her head. Headlights, approaching fast. Panic seized her. She darted into a side street, her feet slipping on wet concrete. Her chest burned, her vision blurred. "Please, let me make it through tonight." She stumbled behind a row of garbage bins, crouching low as the black SUV rolled past. Same license plate, same matte black finish. Her stomach turned. The window rolled down slightly. She saw nothing but darkness and then a flash of a camera. They were tracking her, cataloging her every move. She pressed her back against the cold wall, hand trembling as she opened her phone. She dialed James's number, praying he would answer. 1 ring. 2. "Come on, James." On the 3rd ring, the call connected. Tu Diep. James's voice exploded through the speaker. "Where are you?" "I don't know, some alley off New Yun Tri Street." "James, they're following me. I saw the SUV again." "Stay where you are," he said, already moving. "I'm coming to you. Don't hang up. Talk to me. Breathe. I've got you." Tears blurred her vision. "James, if something happens, nothing will happen." His voice cracked. "I'm not losing you. Not tonight. Not ever." Suddenly, the alley was flooded with another set of headlights. She turned, shielding her eyes. But this time it was not the black SUV. It was James. The moment he jumped out of the car, she ran into his arms, shaking, sobbing, her entire body collapsing into his strength. "I thought I lost you," she cried. "Not a chance." James whispered, holding her tight, pressing his forehead against hers. "You're safe now, I promise." But as he looked over her shoulder, toward the shadows that still lingered in the dark alleyway, James knew deep down, this was just the beginning. Whoever was hunting them wasn't finished, and James would burn the whole world down before he let anyone take her away. The storm hadn't let up. Inside the car, James turned the heater on full blast. But Tu Diep's trembling wouldn't stop. Her hands were cold, her eyes distant, as if part of her was still out in that alley waiting for the shadows to grab her again. James kept one hand on the steering wheel, the other gently holding hers. "You're safe now," he said again, but his voice betrayed the storm brewing inside him: anger, fear, and something deeper: guilt. "I saw him," Tu Diep whispered suddenly. "The man in the SUV. I think I've seen him before. Years ago." James looked at her sharply. "Where?" "In a photo. My father's old files. I was young. He didn't tell me who the man was, but he called him the architect." Her voice trembled. "He was the one who told my father to run." James's grip tightened around the steering wheel. "The architect." He had heard that name before whispers in old reports, rumors from former business partners who'd mysteriously disappeared. A man who manipulated from the shadows, never revealing his face, never touching anything directly, but controlling everything. And now he was after Tu Diep. James knew then this wasn't just about business. This was personal, connected to the past, to blood, to revenge. They reached a safe house outside the city, a secluded cabin, owned by one of James's most trusted allies, Min. As soon as they arrived, Min stepped out to greet them, concern in his eyes. "She's not just a target anymore," James said under his breath. "She's the key." Later that night, in the warmth of the fireplace, Tu Diep finally slept, wrapped in a thick blanket. James sat by her side, watching her chest rise and fall with each breath. Min poured him a glass of whiskey and sat opposite. "I warned you this day might come," Min said softly. "You've been trying to rebuild everything your father destroyed, but there are debts from the past that never went unpaid." "I don't care what my father did," James said, eyes burning. "I only care about protecting her now." Min hesitated, then handed James a sealed envelope. "What's this?" "Something I found when investigating the architect. It's a photo of him and a woman." James tore it open. His hands froze. The woman in the photo was Tu Diep's mother, and the man beside her, tall, in a black coat, with a face both familiar and distant, was smiling at her like she belonged to him. A quiet shock settled into James's chest. "Do you understand now?" Min said. "The architect doesn't just want revenge. He thinks Tu Diep was stolen from him." James's heart pounded. "No, she's mine now, and I'll die before I let him take her away." From the bedroom, Tu Diep stirred in her sleep, whispering something in a dream. James stood up. "I'm going to end this," he said. "For her, for all of us." Min nodded. "Then you better be ready, because the architect has already made his move." True love is not just about protecting someone from harm, but standing with them through the storms, no matter how dark, no matter how dangerous. In the story, James doesn't just rescue Tu Diep once. He fights for her safety, seeks the truth about her past, and makes hard choices to protect her even when it means facing powerful enemies. This teaches us that love isn't passive. It requires courage, sacrifice, and a willingness to confront painful truths. Sometimes, the people we care about carry deep wounds or dangerous histories. Standing by them means embracing their past, protecting their present, and fighting for their future. True love is not built on comfort alone, it's tested in chaos. In James and Tu Diep's story, we learn that real commitment means choosing someone over and over again, even when everything around you is falling apart. James didn't run when threats emerged. He didn't abandon Tu Diep when her past endangered their present. Instead, he took responsibility, even when it put his company, his freedom, and his future at risk. This reminds us that love is more than words. It is action. It is loyalty. It is the courage to protect, the strength to forgive, and the patience to believe in someone when they can no longer believe in themselves. And Tu Diep, though once a simple village girl, teaches us that true strength doesn't always come from power or wealth, but from resilience, kindness, and an unwavering heart. In a world full of betrayal, power games, and shadows from the past, their love shows us. Sometimes, the most dangerous journeys lead to the most beautiful destinations if we dare to walk them together.